You are listening to the Critical Mass Radio Show, Orange County's business talk show, focused on exploring topics of interest to CEOs who are leading middle market companies. With your host, Richard Franzi.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Critical Mass Business Talk Show, Orange County's longest running business talk show. And boy, do we have a good show for you. We have two entrepreneurs. You get two for the price of one today here on the program. We have Lisa Lukes and Jay Lukes, who are co-founders of the Lukes Network. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Rick. It's a pleasure to be here. And thanks for reaching out. We look forward to it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rick. Good to see you.
It's good to see you both again. I'm excited to have you on the show. And let's start right at the beginning. You've been in business for about a year. So take me back, Annalisa, to the original motivation that you two had to start this business.
Sure. Again, thank you for the invitation. And, the original motivation to be an entrepreneur and to have our own firm in public relations, outreach, and marketing really came probably about almost 10 years ago, as I was wrapping up my MBA at Chapman University and with a focus in entrepreneurship. So I on my own knew that I was going to have to at some point explore entrepreneurship and have my own firm. And together, Jay and I have also created programs within businesses over many, many years, a couple of decades, around the area of sales and marketing. And when the time came for us and looking at our goals and long-term goals, 5-10-year goals down the road, it really was the right time and place for us to do it. So the concept had been budding for almost a decade, and then the execution came as a result of timing and readiness, mentally, emotionally, and otherwise.
Yeah, that's important. All mental, emotional. We'll talk about the journey of an entrepreneur here in a couple minutes as well. And I just want to call the audience's attention to how well you worked in subtly what your company does, the fact that you have an advanced degree. This is called marketing, ladies and gentlemen, and messaging. So Annalisa has just demonstrated, for me at least, her skill in doing what you and Jay are helping your clients to do, which was be on point and on message.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So, Jay, let's turn our attention to you and see how you do with your first question. No pressure. What have you learned about starting a business in the year plus that you two have been running the Lukes Network?
Sure. Well, we started really in the middle of COVID, but we viewed that as an opportunity. We saw that community was very important. We always believed in sustainability, which is our basis is a triple bottom line of people, profit, and planet. Nothing of that has changed. One thing that has probably changed over the course of the year, and trial and error and everything, but is really focusing more laser-like focus to what kind of business we want, what public and private entities we want to work with. It's very, very important for our clients that they're authentic. Authenticity speaks volumes. And it's something that, we've really focused much more on the sustainability end, getting out the outreach, whether it be a public entity or private entity, and tailoring that message to who they're trying to speak to. And it's worked out extremely well. And we're really focused in on this with merging those two together. And it's getting more focused by the day, I would say. And that would be my advice is, when you start out, you're obviously going to kind of have a shotgun broadband look at, hey, we can do all this. And then you'll find out, yeah, but we're really great at this. And this really speaks volumes and this speaks a great message. And that's where we're toning in on.
Yeah, if I could follow up with you, Jay, you did a great job too. So to both of you, both get gold stars for being great answering guests. So I love it. We're gonna have a fun conversation, continue to kind of go through the questions.
Sure.
But I remember in our pre-call, you were helping me to understand actually how you've been focusing in and niching your business. And I want to just ask you to maybe spend a couple of minutes with our audience talking about, because I agree with you, in business as an entrepreneur, sometimes there are some things you can only learn by doing.
Right.
You plan all you want, but till you get on the field and you start messaging and practicing, that's where you really learn what works and maybe what doesn't work or what's best for your business. So can you share with me a little bit your experience and how you've kind of focused your niching and your messaging on your ideal clients?
Yeah, of course. One thing that, and this is not, a unique thing, but every company should have a USP, a unique selling proposition. What separates you? It's more than an elevator pitch, but it's really what sets you different, sets you apart from your competition, and also what would inspire somebody to hire you. And what that is for us is really our one of our logos, or I should say, our statements is do well and do good.
Mm.
What we want is our clients to do well. Sustainability is a very, very big term, and it gets misconstrued and politicized many ways. And we don't believe that. In fact, that's one of our goals, is to change that. Sustainability obviously goes into clean environment, clean health, clean water, but it also goes into your workforce empowerment. Paying your workforce, getting them inspired to work, getting them, working toward a common goal. Sustainability is a big blanket term, but we want to bring it to the people and make it more user friendly and less politicized. I think everybody in the world, honestly, if they really looked into sustainability, would all be for it. Mm-hmm. But it's our job to get that message out in a correct way to the correct audience. And, somebody's ear is going to be different than another person's ear. So we want to present it in many different ways, but with a common goal.
Yeah, so if I could just add in,
yeah,
so it's also learned that we really are incredibly passionate about utilities and energy, and also getting the communities and really individuals and businesses to know about how they can make an impact on a daily basis on something that they don't really get to touch or see, but they get to use it every day. So how do we demystify what that really means in a way that makes sense, that connects with someone's heart? And in a nutshell, sustainability is leaving the earth or the planet or your world in a better place for your grandchildren and children, so that they can also take advantage of what it is. And as Jay mentioned, it goes beyond environmental sustainability. It's really about people, because it's important for companies, businesses, whether it's government or private entities, to take care of their people in order to really help them become profitable. And then certainly to make sure that they're modernizing and being efficient, and that's the environmental aspect of it. So coming at it from almost an economic approach, but connecting and bringing sustainability to mainstream, if you will, is one of the focus areas that we've learned to hone in on this past year.
And tell me why utilities are of special interest to you both, Annalisa.
Sure. Well, we try to look at how is it that we can make the biggest difference, right? So there's certainly different aspects of sustainability. Recycling is one of them, but perhaps rather than, or in addition to focusing on recycling, you focus on packaging. How do you create packaging that's going to minimize waste instead of trying to prevent waste by recycling? So same thing with energy. It starts with how our infrastructures are connected so that they are hopefully becoming more and more renewable, whether it is something that someone agrees it or not. It is becoming the law, certainly here in California. And then how do we take that message to everyday people, to local chambers of commerce, to large and small businesses, to even homeowners associations, to get everybody involved in a way that is practical, approachable, pragmatic, and something that can affect their lives in a meaningful way. So for them to learn about what renewable energy might be and how modern that can make a business and help them reduce their operating cost is something that could be exciting to a business. And it's just a matter of putting the messaging together. And as Jay said, not being in the politics of it. And we recognize there's a lot of that, but that's not really the goal for us.
And the good news is that utilities are on board. They are really moving forward, certainly the last 5 years. And you see it more every day. And that's just not California. That's national and international. And that's where the goals are.
So you talked about earlier the triple bottom line. And I love the fact that you have brought profit consistently in this interview, because that's one of the bottom lines, right? Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely capitalists, and we want people to succeed. I myself have been in sales and marketing my entire life. I know how profit works and how profit needs to keep the wheels moving. You take care of profit, you're going to be able to take care of people on the planet, and you take care of people, it's going to help the profit and planet. It's a wheel, and it's a wheel that works. So,
yeah, they're all interrelated, aren't they?
Absolutely.
And so, and I agree with you. The good news is people are more aware of some of the issues that you've presented or opportunities today on the interview. The bad news is sometimes they come with a preconceived notion about what it means to them,
That's
which
right.
I'm sure is some of the work that you do is to help them to.
That's a big part of our work.
Absolutely.
It's molding that message to make it really loud and resonate in their own ear, as opposed to someone else's ear. So you got to personalize it. And again, I want to stress you have to make it authentic.
And meet people where they are, because a big part of sustainability can also include land conservation, for example. And so we have clients for whom that is a big part of their message. And so it's a big gamut. It's a big swath, if you will. But like you said, focusing is important, but that doesn't mean that we close doors to other parts of sustainability.
Yeah, it must be interesting for you as you meet your new prospects and seeing where all the opportunities lie, maybe within their business, by reframing it within this lens, and how they might reposition it both mentally, but then also how they communicate it and emotionally connect to it.
Yeah, I'd say you'd be hard pressed to find any company that sustainability would not reward them. It's just a matter of where they may think, oh, I'm having trouble keeping my employees or getting an inspired employee base. That's part of sustainability, is because you're sustaining your company or keeping it going on. So you'd be hard pressed, honestly, to find any company that can't benefit from sustainability again.
Yeah, it's okay. So my wife, you talked about recycling and reusing. My wife, whom I love and have been married to for many years, is a hawk about waste. She hates wasteful packaging and boxes that come from Amazon or wherever. It just really is. She takes it very personally that, even though it's relatively a small amount, it's our contribution to a problem, and we have to address it. So we have that conversation frequently. We've actually recently signed up for several meal services, and the major reason why we stopped the services was one of them had just an excessive amount of packaging that came with the product, and she just couldn't. It just wasn't worth it to make the meal together when it was bothering her so much to have those.
And, and hopefully you reached out to them and say, hey, listen, we loved your food, but this is a concern of ours, and they get a few people saying that. It brings it to their ear and they can change that.
It's exactly what we did, because obviously they want to know why we're stopping the service. And we told them that packaging was one of them. So I bring my wife into this conversation because together we did a poll that we both put out on LinkedIn, where we ask our respective followings, could you be in a 50-50 partnership with your spouse? And in my world, the several hundred people that saw it, 86% said, yes, it would be awesome. And 14% said, I don't think I could do that. I know that you guys had slightly different results on your poll.
We sure did. It was really interesting. So for a while, and when we first started this about a week ago, it was 50-50. Then it teetered over to 53% yes, 47% no. And then as of today, it was 50-50, half and half. So it's an interesting audience. We're all about balance, obviously, so that kind of makes sense. I think it's interesting to see where people stand, and certainly not going to disclose who said they can't work with their spouse or significant other, but we want to thank those who participated in our poll. I thought that was a really fun question. And then for us, we both are very much into personality types and knowing who you are, knowing who we are. We both happen to be analytical intuitives. And my friend who's a psychologist says that's about like 3% of couples that are able to really get along on different levels in that way. So that's, it's a blessing as well that we have similar personalities.
Yeah, I mean, we complement each other. I mean, like I said, we're both very intellectually analytical. We like data, we like stories. Where we're different, but also complements each other, is one of us is much more of an extrovert, and one of us is a little more of an introvert.
Can you guess who?
Yeah, exactly. But it complements each other. There's many times where you need to be out there and just giving it all, and sometimes you got to talk to people in different ways. So we complement each other. Obviously, we've known each other a long time. We've been married a long time. So there's not really a lot of surprises. So when we got in on this, it wasn't going to be a challenge at all.
So take me back to that kitchen table conversation about, if we're going to, let's do this business and let's do this business together. Can you take us back to that? Like, who suggested it? Do you remember? Or how did it evolve to the point where you both said, okay?
Well, so I mean, it's called the Luke's Network for a reason. That is my husband's name, and a part of that is really about looking at the relationships that we have built over time in Orange County and beyond, and leveraging those for the benefit of our clients. But as it relates to us, we really looked at each other and say, let's go for it, let's do it. Marriage is a team effort. It's something where somebody has to give and take, and for us. Now, strategically, I'm the CEO, and that's intentional because we are also, going for our certifications as a woman-owned and minority-owned business. And, a lot of our prospects and clients work in the government space, so that's an advantage for us. But in terms of that moment, we looked at each other and said, let's go for it. And
it was very much, I mean, I would say Annalisa probably brought up first, but it was a quick conversation. And like I said, it was during COVID. It was almost like there's no better time for this.
Yeah.
So which is weird. You'd think there's no worse time, but honestly, there was no better time. And, seeing the power of the community, whether you're dealing with your local chamber of commerce, seeing how people were being affected, and again, giving them answers to how we can help. So
it's got to be interesting, though, how much time you must now spend together because you live together and you work together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my office is a lot of times outside. I like it's a benefit, obviously, one of the many benefits from working from home. So we separate ourselves enough where in our house where we give each other space because obviously you cannot be on top of each other 24/7. I don't care how good your marriage is. That's just too much. But again, we're in the same roof. If we have a question, you're five steps away.
Right.
So, and it's hasn't been a challenge, knock on wood, yet.
And it's important to time block and know when we're on and when we're off, and being mindful of how we're spending time together is important.
That is a really deep insight. I completely agree with you, because being an entrepreneur myself, it can take over all aspects of your life if you're not careful. Yeah. And when you're in business with your spouse, I can see that probably multiplies the risk, because now you have two people who are grinding on the business. And but I want to applaud you.
Don't get it wrong, we are, but at the same time, we have to just kind of live as much as we.
Work-life balance.
Yeah.
It's
just part of sustainability.
See, bring it all back around, baby. and I love the fact that you're pursuing set-aside business, that you're looking for minority and women-owned qualifications, and because I think that is an awesome opportunity to differentiate your brand as well to those companies, because they are looking for and needing to do business with competent suppliers who have those qualifications. So, good idea. Good partnership. All right. So where do you two go to get access to the ideas and experiences of other entrepreneurs that help you now kind of grow your business?
Absolutely. Thank you for that question. So again, part of the name is the network. So it's those people with whom we already have built relationships, but beyond that, certainly going to industry organizations where sustainability or energy is the main topic. That's important. Also go into organizations where marketing and public relations are the focus. That's an important place for us. So different associations and organizations, but really local businesses, local chambers, the community, our relationships. We watch them and we grow from them. Both, as much as I say local, part of our local is also, thinking globally, but acting locally. So we also watch what goes on outside of California and outside of the United States when it comes to sustainability, because it is a global topic, and seeing how, if at all, can we bring some of that, if at all, bring some of those learnings here in our community in Orange County, and then going beyond Orange County. And
I think with, again, good thing about this mess that we've been living through is that there's so much more access at your fingertips to knowledge, whether it be webinars out there. Again, a lot are tied with associations. Most are free. I mean, this isn't just with marketing and sustainability. Whatever your niche is, I guarantee you there's a wealth of knowledge out there. People doing it a different way, or people coming up with creative options, or new ways of thinking. So whatever your industry, services, etc., there are those options out there. So I would suggest you do it as well. For us, it's been great. I'm probably on 3 webinars a week, relating to something in our business and how to help our clients. So.
And then, of course, the newspaper, right? Newspaper and the news have turned into a different format. There's a lot of information and resources and good old-fashioned newspapers.
Right.
Yeah, and we're lucky to be here in Orange County, which is a pretty thriving business community with a lot of population. We're the 6th most populous county in the country. And
Right.
I think that brings a lot to your points of events that you can go to and people that you can meet. It's big enough to be really vibrant, but it's small enough where with effort, you can become known in the spaces.
Yeah.
that you
Absolutely.
belong.
It's a good, tight community as big as it is.
And Jay's lived here for 40 plus years. I've lived here for 25 years. So it's really sweet and special in that way.
Uh-huh. And we're not talking to any ages here. We're just saying how long you've lived in the county. It's nothing to do with
In utero, I was here for you.
yeah. Okay. So I love to talk to entrepreneurs about the future because you always have a bright vision for where you're going. So no pressure, but can you tell me a bit about where you see the Luke's network going in the future?
Sure. What I would say is we start again, kind of going back to how we changed in that first year. We started out thinking a little more nationally. We saw this, look, the sustainable opportunity with the state of Hawaii as an example. Let's go after that. We're probably too new, to be honest with you, for a lot of those because we just got disqualified just for that factor. But that doesn't stop us. So I think our goal became a little more focused as we talked about Orange County. We have a ton of relationships here in the in the county, with multiple cities, multiple friends, multiple businesses. So right now we're focused on that. But over the course of the next year, 5 years, 10 years, we plan on expanding that from our local base, Southern California, Orange County for sure, to the state, to national, to even international. We were in Spain last month, and we interviewed the curator for the Bilbao Museum in Guggenheim. And that was something that we talked about sustainability and how it's regenerated that city, which used to be an industrial city, into like an art mecca of northern Spain. We also went to the Gastronomica there, which was for kind of the top chefs in Spain and France, and now what they were doing with their sustainable markets. So it's really just expanding, but using the same basis of how do you get your word to resonate with your audience, but it's the same goal. So I would say it's just really expanding and finding those people that really resonate with people and getting that exciting word out there, but in a larger thing. So like I said, Spain, could be New York, could be California, could be Hawaii, whatever the case may be.
And big shout out to Hawaii. They're doing a great work.
Yeah, Hawaii's great.
Sustainability, we did meet with them. So.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, the world is the opportunity, and sustainability is a global topic. So that's great that you're able to.
The world is flat, as the old saying goes. It really is, because especially with technology, you're this far away from talking to somebody in Ireland about sustainability and helping them.
And it's about presence is important. There's nothing like face to face, but it's about production and results. That's what
exactly. So if someone would like to learn more about the Luke's network, and you both individually, professionally, how do they find out more?
Sure. Well, you can certainly learn more about our full service marketing, PR, public relations, outreach, and sustainability consulting firm, the Luke's Network, on our website, www.thelukesnetwork.com. And then certainly on LinkedIn. Our handle on Instagram is @thelukesnetwork. And we hope to see you and have conversations with you about things that really matter for people, profit, and planet. It all matters.
Yeah, thanks, Rick. You've been great.
Well, I want to thank you for being friends of the program. I knew this would be a fun 20-some minutes together, and you did not disappoint. I thoroughly enjoyed our time together. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Thank you, and have a great holidays, everybody.
All right. And yes, truly, it's that time of the year. And I'd like to thank Gottlieb, Rackman, and Reisman, who proudly supported this edition of the Critical Mass Business Talk Show. GRRPC provides legal advice and guidance on all aspects of intellectual property law, including patents, trademarks, and copyrights. To learn more, you can visit their website, grr.com. I'd like to thank you, our listening audience, for being a part of Orange County's longest running business talk show. This was episode number 1328. If we're not connected on LinkedIn, I'm Rick, R-A-C, Franzi, F-R-A-N-Z-I. Reach out, love to connect and start a conversation. That's also my website, rickfranzi.com. And until the next time we meet, I hope all of your business decisions will move your company in a positive direction.